Hello and welcome to MIM TV. My name is Jason Pitt. Today we are joined with Colin Weaver, Managing Director of Ricoh, and also Gold Member of Made in the Midlands. We've got a really interesting discussion today. Two things we'd like to talk about. One is digitisation within manufacturing, because obviously people know you as traditionally a printing company. Obviously you own Pentax and ink toners. People are probably not as familiar with your 3D printing technology and additive high value manufacturing processes. And also we did a breakfast morning at Ricoh probably about 2 months ago, and the feedback was tremendous. A lot of people were raving about it, and I think it was actually one of our longer breakfast mornings because we did a sort of tour of the facility. And the thing that I wanted to also talk to you about is the culture of the business, because you've got all of these fantastic displays on, sort of messages about the journey of the company, photographs of your staff. So also I'd like to talk a little bit about that and the future of manufacturing and Ricoh. So if we start off with digitising manufacturing, what does that mean?
Well, digitising manufacturing is really about looking at how you can reduce, if you like, the total end-to-end process using digital techniques for manufacturing. So if our traditional business is printing, and if you take commercial printing, for example, and you look traditionally how we might make magazines or we might make books, that has been done using analog techniques, and it's the data that goes into each of those books is exactly the same. We're now being able to think about how to produce on demand, so what we like, when we like, and also completely variable output, so completely variable data. So a lot of the techniques, if you think about that from just magazines and books having your own name and address on a book that comes to you, and you now start to apply that to manufacture of components or the manufacture of flooring, wallpaper, textiles, and now you can say that every shirt might be different, so bespoke to you, not just in size, but with the design on that.
And what you gave me an example earlier about the creating colours within a sort of textile type product. How would that work?
So we're working along with some other organisations to specifically colour materials before they're used. So immediately before they're used, to actually colour the materials in the colours we actually want, and rather than the colour of the material being sort of limited, you can actually now produce any colour that you want and any shade you want. So being able to do that on demand when you want it, just before use, and that's what I call digital manufacturing. And the whole concept of this is to make the supply chain much leaner. So rather than having to stock lots of raw materials, we're actually stocking single raw materials and making them into what we want. But a completely variable output.
It sounds really exciting. You gave me a couple of examples which I think I certainly hadn't thought about. And I was talking about an article I read in at the paper today about somebody who's making a sort of digital ear, a sort of prosthetic, which would be replace perhaps somebody that's has lost that sort of body part, or it's disfigured in some way. What are the other potentials of 3D printing? What else could you do? So obviously medical devices, but
I think you're limited to your imagination in some respects. Although the technology at the moment can't allow you to do everything, but you can pretty much design from any place, any position, any. You're not limited at all to know how you can manufacture things. You can manufacture any shape and at any intensity you want, limited only by some of the technology that we have today. So.
And obviously you're an expert in tone link. It's not just the printing machines as such. Your speciality is actual what goes in the printers. What about the pharmaceutical industry? Is this something that the pharmaceutical industry could use, for example?
Well, I think tomorrow, lots and lots of things can be made to bespoke recipes. So I think I gave you the example of tailored medicines for individuals. So we may be limited today in the size of the tablet, and they may come in range of sizes, but that may not be bespoke to you particularly. So if you think about being able to make anything, on demand, we should be able to start to think about how we tailor medicine specifically for you as an individual. So you can have your medicine and your shirt and your coat all tailored for you.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And the culture of the business is obviously important. Obviously, Japanese firm. I think you operate on something like 52 acres of land, so it's a absolutely huge site. And there's nobody better positioned to talk about the culture in the business than yourself, because you started as an engineer. When would that have been?
1984.
1984. So according to my notes, is that when the company started?
That's what it was, just before we actually had a building.
Yeah.
So I started there from the start of the site at Telford. Yeah.
So you'd have seen the whole progression, and obviously pretty much most of the jobs within Ricoh, I'd have thought.
Yes, I've seen the company change from just a pure assembly plant to what it is today, which it has a range of customer experience centre. It manages the supply chain for all of the toner that we produce in Europe. We produce that on demand. We produce 51 weeks of the year, 7 days a week. And basically we have now 3 real key technology centres, one for inkjet, the other one for 3D printing, and the other one for the commercialisation of print manufacture. So that's our business, and our business has changed completely. But a lot of the people and a lot of the skills that we have, we've been also able to change and reposition those people's skills.
Probably the 2 biggest problems that most companies face are the skills gap. So people struggle to get talented people into the business, then retain them, of course. And productivity, and I don't think the 2 things are separate. So a happy workforce is a productive workforce. How are you tackling those? So when somebody comes for the job interview for you, day one, what do you tell them? What do they expect from the business?
I think let me take the skills gap first and foremost. Is that we do spend a lot of time and effort understanding how we can work with our individuals and really meet their aspirations as well. So from a development point of view, we've also had an apprenticeship program for the last 26 years, and that has been very much targeted to develop individuals that can take part in our business, not just when they join, but also looking towards the future. And when people join us, and we do have a relatively low turnover, but when people join us, one of the first things we say is that you actually have 2 jobs here. The one that we're now talking to you about, but the second is how do you get involved in improving our business? And it's very key for us to be able to enable that process as well. So we have to be very clear on what we're trying to improve from a business point of view, from a leadership perspective, and then we also have to give the people the opportunity to get involved in changing that business, and that manifests itself into a lot of the programs that we have from a training perspective, and also understanding how people have the opportunity to present to senior management their ideas. And we bring that together through what we call a suggestion scheme, and that celebrated its 20th birthday about 2 months ago. And today, if you look at it, suggestions per person per year, it runs at 3.75 suggestions per person per year.
So everybody's contributing on that.
And that includes any of our temporary associates that work with us as well. So we don't exclude them as a different group of people.
Fantastic. And what about this photography society? Because when we did the breakfast meeting, you could see photographs of employees along the building with different messages. What is that about?
They're not photographs of employees. They're photographs that employees have taken, and they basically record what their interests are and whatever. And we encourage them to display their wares, if you like, because we are a print manufacturer. Yeah. We also make cameras, as you know. So that skill base actually is quite important from a printing point of view. And the interest in photography is trying to link all of those things and then to show the diversity, if you like, of people's interests and what they do in their spare time, what they're interested in, and everything else. So
fantastic.
It gives them a platform to show what they enjoy doing.
I was going to ask you what's one of the most unusual photographs you've seen, but that might spoil the video.
Yeah, I probably we shouldn't go there.
You've got 52 acres of land, and I know you've got an environmental club of some kind. How do people get involved in that, or what does that do within the business?
So from Ricoh's point of view, we as a total business have very high or very tight environmental targets, and Ricoh's ambition overall is one, to reduce its environmental impact from the year 2000 to 2050. We say to an eighth of where we were in 2000. That's a massive stretch target. Yeah. But equally, we also understand that we have to look after the planet as well from a biodiversity perspective. And one of the things that we've done is to try and make our site part of that biodiversity project, if you like. And we don't have to encourage staff to join those types of activities. They naturally join out of interest, and two, from the point of view of they're really interested in a particular subject. And we have a group of ninja eco warriors, and those guys actually work with lots of organisations around Shropshire, Wildlife Trust and whatever, and they apply what they learn. Not just outside of the organisation, but also within our land. So it's
fantastic.
Quite interesting.
Oh, it sounds like a brilliant company to work for. Have you got any jobs at the moment? So, thanks very much for coming on, Colin. Fascinating subject. You've got a customer experience centre. How do people access that? How do companies get to learn a bit more about your business?
Well, mainly as far as the customer experience centre is concerned, you have to be interested in buying our products, obviously, but from that point of view. And this customer experience centre serves the whole of Europe. So we support all of the sales and marketing infrastructure around Europe, and we try and bring customers specifically to our site to learn from our customers and to interact with our customers, and really then understand how we can help them improve their business. And we try that on many levels, even from manufacturing to products to bespoke solutions and everything like that. And that in itself is now starting us to think and go in totally different in new directions as well. So
brilliant.
It's customer experience, but it's also a learning centre for ourselves.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining us on Moon TV. If you would like to subscribe and comment, follow the instructions below. And to learn more about Ricoh, where should people go?
To Ricoh UK Products Limited at Telford.
Fantastic. Thank you.